Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. So here I am at London Nelson Community Center and Park in Santa Cruz, California. And I want to talk about two scriptures. One is Proverbs 10, 20. The other one is Proverbs 22:15. See, Proverbs 10:20 says that the tongue of the righteous is choice silver, but the heart of the wicked is of little value. Now, what are the deeper implications of this? In the last video, I talked about how wickedness overthrows the sinner. Okay, wickedness overthrows the sinner, and the wicked has a heart of little value. If you have a heart of little value, what does it mean? It means your heart is callous, it is insensitive, it doesn't truly care about doing God's work, it's not capable of loving, right? When you have an insensitive heart, a callous heart, an unfair heart, a wicked heart, a contorted heart, it's a heart that doesn't love. And what is the value of a heart that doesn't love? How do they love their families? How do they love their dates and their wives and so on and so forth? Obviously, there's so many reasons that the throne is established in righteousness, there's no words for it. Now we also see Proverbs 22:15, I believe it is, where it says, folly is bound up in the heart of a child, right? Folly is bound up in the heart of a child. So if one is wicked, they're living folly, they're living falsehood. And therefore they have the heart of a child. So the wicked are childish. So when one accepts wickedness, they accept childishness. When one absorbs wickedness, they absorb foolishness and childishness. They are undisciplined, they're illogical, they are unwise, they are wicked, they have feeble minds. Because if one doesn't have the heart to truly be a man, then how much strength do they have? Or if they're female, if they don't have the heart to truly be a woman, how much strength do they have? They're just simply conveying childishness. So when we think about rich oppressors, for example, the difference between the rich oppressor and the less than rich righteous person is great, because righteousness is greater than wealth. It says in Matthew 6, store riches in heaven, not on earth. It is foolish to store riches on earth. There's the parable of the rich fool. What is he going to do with all the money when he dies? He's going to give it to his kids while the government uses technology and deep state activities to steal the money from his children, his offspring? What if he's a part of the government? So he's going to rip people off with his money to maintain his wealth? That's a foolish path. Why couldn't they learn from Lex Luthor and Scrooge McDuck? There it is, depicted for them in a way that a child understands. But they choose to be wicked instead of acknowledging that it's stupid to be wicked. They try to be Gargamel. They try to be Dick Dastardly. They try to be the Riddler and the Joker. The Riddler and the Joker are fools. They're immature cowards. They don't have the heart to do what's right. The word heart is even a play on words for he art. If you're going to start discarding the importance of the heart and the brain, then what is left? If you don't value moral intensity, then your brain is dull and your heart is pathetic. It's rather unfortunate that people don't understand these things. And that as I go through life, all these years, making these videos for 15 years, what have I seen? What have I experienced? Well, I've been in situations where a little bit awkward, but that pales in comparison to the joy of doing God's work, the joy of being a fair, just, and righteous man that leads by example, not being some hypocrite in the church who fails his community, who fails his family, who fails God, someone who claims to represent God, but is not just. Someone who teaches people that faith can save them. Faith alone cannot save you unless it's true faith. And true faith comes with works. As it says in James, as the body without the spirit is dead, faith without works is dead. It's empty, it's useless to God, it's mere lip service. We say in Mark 7, that these people honor, Isaiah was right when he spoke of not only the Pharisees, but the Pharisees. He was also right when he spoke about the masses of people on earth. These people honor God with their lips alone, but their hearts are far from him. They break the greatest commandment, which is loving God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your being. Their worship is in vain. Their worship is dead. They waste their time in church. They're not actually serving God. They're just accepting the boundaries of the state. And the word state is a play on words for at set. It's at set scrambled. It's an anagram. And Set is the deity of the principles of evil. And Horus was the archetype of Pharaoh, not Set. It was Horus that allowed Pharaoh to give Joseph his wife. And God approved, not Set. The idea of Horus stands for the principles of good. The skywalker, walking with God. The champion martial artist. Martial is marital scrambled, and Christ is the bridegroom. Why don't the churches teach that the word martial is marital scrambled and Christ is the bridegroom? Because they do not do martial arts. They do not do monotheistic martial arts. They do the arts of witchcraft and sorcery and mere psychology, propaganda, and theater arts. Why walk with God as the top martial artist ever? The word Christos means the anointed. Anointed with what? With righteousness and justice, with the martial art principles, dignity, determination, will, timing, heart, focus, wisdom, sense, insight. Insight, the falcon vision. That's why the falcon was the symbol of Pharaoh, because he had the vision to point the way when he did. Then came some namby-pamby, hypocritical dynasties leading into the story of the Jewish captivity in Egypt, when eventually a wicked Pharaoh rose to power. He was not the Pharaoh, he was a fairy, because he lived fairy illusion and fantasy. Those who chase fantasies have no sense. Life is short. Those who don't seize destiny and become one with it have lost their minds. They've lost their way. They are merely fools being played, dancing to the tune of Pan, for example, and Dionysus, who's a deity of ritual madness and religious ecstasy. They follow the ways of the Greek myths. That's why there's Greek societies in college. And there's not a man among them. What do? They live some kind of namby-pamby, sissy pushover life while the masses of the people suffer. They have a priceless opportunity to network and come up with a solid war on poverty plan. But instead they dance to the tunes of the government-approved political parties like punks. While the masses of the people starve, they direct them to controlled opposition, which let them down every moment of every day. And 25,000 people starve to death every day. Okay, 10,000 children in the world starve to death every day. While people act like some kind of controlled opposition punk, because they don't have the heart to rally to the top martial artist. Instead, they rally to some punks who the government allows to have a large following. They censor my social media site. Why? Because blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, not those who conform and are allowed to do what they do, who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. All who wish to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted. They won't be, embraced by the state and the communities. That's why Santa Cruz doesn't embrace me, because the word Santa is the word Satan scrambled. It's Satan's Cruz. And nobody does a damn thing about it because they're too busy accepting evil. All these people with their pentagrams and their heavy metal and rock and roll, okay? Spending their money on drugs and fornication. While people starve in the world, they're simply self-indulgent. Better is open rebuke than love that is concealed. Because if you do not try to correct the situation, you're encouraging it. One who slackens his work is brother to one who destroys. And one who has the heart to tell the truth is walking in the way which is the truth and a righteous and just life. Well, I'm going to end it here before the state cracks down on me for trying to save the world as it is inclined to do. Thank you.